Alright, good morning. It's Tuesday, September 5th, about 7:40 a.m. Just woke up not too long ago. They actually let me sleep when I'm comfortable sleep. Because even though while I was sleeping, I was still hearing the handlers speak through the V2K as I was trying to sleep. Then once I woke up and I tried to stand to my feet, all I felt was like this swelling or pressure inside my brain, which means they were continuously heating my brain tissue while I was asleep. But before I even stood to my feet, my girlfriend was telling me about these separate dreams that they had ran on her, over the night. And Inception is very real. Everybody ought to know this by now, but Inception is very real. I believe in the metaverse, the augmented reality, or whatever the virtual reality world that they're operating within. They get people in their subconscious mind to agree to certain things, or to probably act out certain things, or even make agreements. Because if you already understand and know that they have technology out today that can basically decode brainwave activities and vision, they can actually take those brainwaves and process it on through a brain-computer interface, where then they can be able to see. They can be able to see the images within your brain, almost like a full-length video. I believe there were times where they were actually trying to get me to probably commit violent acts while I was in the dream. And then something in me always knew that something didn't sit right, because I'm not a violent person. So what they would do is they would put a TI in a situation where they would have to be given a choice to do something violent, or they'll put them in a situation where they're going to be forced into doing something, and then they would basically record it. They would record it and then probably use it in some way or fashion against you in this conscious physical world. But I know they're probably right now they're saying that's a stupid nigga. He don't realize he's setting himself up for failure. I'm gonna tell you this, right? There are two things the secret societies of the world don't want you to know. They don't want you to know about technology, and they don't want you to know anything about your spiritual self. This is why the Western world struggles so much with their own spirituality. This is why I took it upon myself not just to rely on religious scriptures, or just focus on Christianity or Islam or anything in particular, but I started looking east to try to understand a different perspective of the human aura, our chi, prana, ki. They don't want you to know about technology, because if you actually learned about technology, then you will find a way to possibly develop a defense against what they're doing technologically. They don't want you to know about spirituality, because if you learn that if you are connected to a higher source, and that you can pull You can pull energy from that higher source. So you can then use natural energy to overcome or even override anything technologically being done to your spirit. Your aura, the energy radiating from your body, has information all about you within your aura. The sensors that's either external or the biosensors that's inside of you, they're constantly transmitting that information back and forth between your body and the cloud. I didn't get it all out, but it's coming out. But anyway, they don't want you to know how to protect yourself, because then if you learn how to protect yourself, then you will be harder to control. If you become hard to control, then they'll figure, well, if he's not going to be controllable, then we have to kill him. A lot of people are dying in this world, I believe, because of who they are. Not their health, but they're dying because of who they are. The technology that they have is more than capable of saving every person's life, treating every type of cancer, treating every type of disease. You don't have to end up having any type of illness or organ failure with the understanding of how powerful this technology is. But let me also say this. You also don't entirely need technology in order to live and survive and heal yourself. Because in the Eastern world, on the eastern side of the world, they have mastered the understanding that willful, intentional thinking, meditation, actually visualizing everything in your body being of a high, healthy, vibrational energy. There's a reason why Reiki, the Japanese term for hand healing or using or energy healing, there's a reason why that is actually very powerful, and it's more believable on that side of the world. If you ask anyone on the Western side, they'll say that there's no scientific proof that stuff, and most of it is probably based on like a placebo effect, or like or kind of like based on something of a belief. On this side of the world, there's no money in that. And you gotta remember, the thing that every single fallen angel or spirit, evil spirit, or any corrupt person is looking for is 4 things: money, power, control, and money, power, control, and what was the other one? FPC. MFPC. I just thought about it before I got out the bed. MFPC. Golly, I can't remember what the F was. Money, power, control. What was the F? I just had it before I even got out the bed. And I literally got out the bed 10 minutes ago. MFPC. see. Damn. There's so much energy in my brain right now. Oh, fame. When you look at most people in the entertainment world or in certain influential industries or whatever, money, fame, power, control. Money, fame, power, control. Remember, God doesn't care about any of those things. God does not care about how much money you have. God does not care if you want fame. God does not care if you want power, at least not in the sense of this world's understanding of power. And God does not care about how much control you want over things. But there's only specific spirits that only care about those type of things. And when you look at those who are considered celebrities and those who have all the influence, the money, power, fame, and control, you gotta look very closely at the things that they promote. You gotta look very closely at the things that they speak. You have to look very closely at you have to look very closely at, like, what do they invoke or provoke from other people who are listening or watching them. Do everything that you can to learn about your natural energy, your natural radiant energy. Do everything that you can to learn about these things. Because in the coming days, weeks, months, years, we don't know when this, I would say, interdimensional or spiritual energy shift is going to happen. But you are going to want to learn how to actually control your energy. You're going to need to learn how to control your energy because there's been a lot of talks with other very spiritual people and even astrologers that there is something happening in the universe dealing with radio waves coming from very, very far places, deep within the universe, but they're all aiming towards the earth. There's been a mentioning of a specific type of comet that's going to pass Earth, and then what's behind that comet is there's this energy force that's following behind it, and then that energy force may actually come sweeping through the Earth. Remember, I am no expert at nothing. Everything that I'm actually giving you, or everything that I'm saying, is either something that I've read, and I have the actual proof. You know, I always, anything that I mention, I always make sure that I have the source nearby. I always have, it's always something that's been studied by professionals, people who are accredited, things of that sort. Learn about your energy, because that's what basically got them to where they are now, by simply suppressing information or withholding information from the general public. You can't control people if they know what's happening. You can't control people if they don't know it's something that they should fight against. You can't control people if they know how to fight against you. So what you have to do is you have to keep information from them so that they don't know. The reason why so many people find a lot of this stuff so hard to believe, the technology and everything, because they don't realize how deceptive and how very, very powerful Satan truly is. Occults know how powerful Satan truly is. That's why occults were sought after by many different groups of people throughout the world to gain these otherworldly knowledge and otherworldly power so that they can use it to control other people here on this planet. There's a reason why when you look at certain technologies, or you look at certain companies, and you can go on probably like Instagram or TikTok. Billy Carson, he talks about how a lot of things involving technology or symbols and whatnot that you see today, they are literally like they're basically like they're like the representation of old magic. They're like the representation of old spells and everything. Like, you know, when you look at some of these someone actually pointed out how on the Oreo, there's a symbol on the Oreo. It's like a straight line, and then there's like a short line, a medium line, and then a long line. And then there's like this little circle. And I know I've seen that before. But I never really thought about it. That symbol is a representation of Satan. It's like, I don't know. Maybe I'll cut this video and then I'll put the picture of the symbol. That symbol is a representation of Satan. So it's almost in a sense when you think about it. Because I mean, when you think about it, an Oreo, why would an Oreo need a symbol like that? It's a straight line with a circle, then it's like a short line, a medium line, and then a long line. And it's right above the word Oreo. The Oreo word is in the middle. When you think about how it's, you know, in communion, which is interesting because this past Sunday when I went to church, they did communion. They say how like the bread is the body of Christ and the wine is like the blood of Christ. When you think about how when you eat an Oreo and you're eating that symbol, it's almost as if like they're stating that you are eating or you are consuming a part of Satan himself, or it's like something like that. And then you think about many of the chemicals and stuff that they're putting in foods to try to mess with your chemical imbalances in your brain or in your body, things of that sort. Everything that they're doing is to actually break you down so that you can't necessarily ever gain full control of your spiritual energy. Now, what I am realizing, I went to the Labor Day parade yesterday here in Brooklyn, and trust and believe, I caught the eyes of every single person that's in this augmented secret society. I've caught the eyes of every single person looking, because, quite honestly, I mean, there's nothing about me that should be looked at. But because when you have all this data that, we can't see because we're not augmented like they are. We can't see the data, but they all can see it. So whatever they're seeing, they basically had a lot of negative vibrational energy coming off of them from a distance. I'm not even like within 15 feet of these people, but I can feel the energy coming off of them as they look at my girlfriend and I walk through a crowded sidewalk of hundreds of people. I feel the energy of someone looking at me, so I look, we catch eyes, and then they do this thing. They do this thing where they kind of like, you could tell when someone's shooting you some very, very low vibrational energy, almost like, it's not necessarily anger, but it's like something else, like it's like an energy. It's like, you shouldn't be here, or why are you here, or something like that. I caught the energy of every single person. And what's interesting is, I found this interesting. So while I was walking down the street, I'm getting goosebumps as I say this, so I know I'm on the right path. I was walking up the sidewalk, and then I heard somebody say, "Chris," and I looked, and I remember the dude who used to work at this other job I was at a few years ago. And back then, we was cool. I mean, he used to hook me up with stuff. I used to hook him up with stuff. We was good, And there were definitely times where, like, I really hooked him up with some stuff, but it was always cool. Good morning. And then, I'm in my heart with this girlfriend's son, so he's like talking and whatnot. Hello. And then I'm like, I was trying to record the video, and I was like, all right, let me come into the hallway. I'm gonna say this, as much as the handlers love to say, he's by himself. Always remember, there's a lot of power and wisdom to be gained when you are by yourself. There's nothing wrong with being by yourself. Sometimes you actually become stronger because you learn that there is peace and strength in being by yourself. Don't let them make you fear being alone. Don't allow them to make you fear being alone. You are more than what you are looking at. And they are using technology and, basically spells. They're using technology to cast spells on you because they see who you are before you even know who you are. And the reason why they are poisoning everything is because if you were to wake up here, you would wake up here. Your pineal gland, somewhere in the middle, your pineal gland is the center of just about everything spiritual about you. Between the pineal gland and your heart. Not the physical heart, but the energy produced by the heart. This technology is like an infectious virus on your whole entire energy. What they don't want you to do is learn that you are much more powerful than what you are looking at. When you look in the mirror, you are more than what you see. And they see that about you, and they want to manipulate that part about you. That's why they are doing everything they can to always keep you in a low vibration. That's why they do everything That's why when you look at everything in the world, it seems like everything is meant to keep you in a consistent, perpetual state of fear. Why? Because fear is one of the lowest vibrations. Fear also brings in weakness. Fear also brings in sickness, depression, all these low vibrational energies. They all are meant to keep you low. And if you don't learn how to overcome and raise your vibrations, that's going to be one of those things that they're going to use to manipulate and control you. They're telling me, oh, the whole city is watching me, the whole city this, and I'm already more than aware that New York City is basically Sodom and Gomorrah. I'm already aware that the United States of America is Babylon. I'm already aware that we don't actually have we don't have that many leaders in the positions of government, law enforcement, intelligence. We don't have that many leaders. We have people that are a part of an occult who are manipulating resources, manipulating everything, and they're dictating and controlling who lives and who dies. Most things that we see happening are not what they truly appear to be. But this is why it's important that we actually learn about our spirit and the spirit realms. It's very, very important that we do, because I have grown even more and more in belief of, let's say, reincarnation. Because energy cannot be destroyed. So if energy cannot be destroyed, then that means spiritual bodies, our spirits, are probably recycled. And then we are maybe born into another life through someone else. We may not have a full recollection of our past life, but there are moments throughout a person's life where they may feel like that they've been here or they've done this before. Some have said that maybe deja vu could be like a cross between two dimensions of yourself, and the moment that you catch that deja vu, you just actually, you in another dimensional version of yourself just cross paths with you. Now, while I'm actually just sitting here, all of a sudden, so much energy just started building up in my head. And it's coming from like this. Well, it's coming down. It's going right through the cranium. Yeah, it's going right through the cranium and into the center of the brain. So what I have to do is I have to make sure I get this out, because people need to learn about themselves. People need to learn and understand how powerful they truly are. But you're not going to learn it. You're not going to learn it through anything in the Western world, because they're keeping that information from you. This is why a lot of times when people really learn and understand power and peace, they traveled out east. They went east. They traveled out east, and this is when they start to learn even more things about their spiritual energy. Now, don't worry about all the people laughing at you. Just remember, they will not have peace. In the book of Enoch, it teaches you that in the book of Enoch, it teaches you In the book of Enoch, it teaches you that when the Nephilim were killed, right? It teaches you money. In the book of Enoch, it teaches you that when the Nephilim were killed, released from their bodies were evil spirits, because they were part human and part angel. But because they were also of human and angel, they could not ascend to heaven, or they could not go to hell. They had to be right here on earth. And there were several spirits that were released from their bodies, right? Those spirits did not die. They just roam the earth, and they basically interact with your subconscious mind, or they interact with your spiritual body. This is why it's hard for people to actually believe in demons and stuff. Why? Because if you can't see it, then it's hard for you to perceive it. But you can always feel the energy of someone who is spiritually wrong. Like, you can feel the energy of someone who just does not have good intentions. Always pay attention to that, because that's the part of you that is being kept from us. That is the part of you that we all need to understand, that we need to gain more control of that part of us, because it's in that energy, that part of us that knows how to sense energy. That's the part that we need to tap into, because there's no technology that's much more stronger than the spirit. Remember, God is the only one that can control who lives or dies. People can put threats out there. They can do all types of things. They can threaten you. They can probably shoot you. They can stab you. You can get thrown off a building or a boat, but it doesn't promise that you will die. There's no promise that you will die. People get shot in the head, and somehow they still survive. Yeah, 50 Cent got shot 9 times, and he still survived. So, you gotta remember, keep your vibrations high. Do not fear death, because if you are doing everything that you are supposed to do, and that God will favor, that God wants of you, you will basically be everything that you need to be in this world and in the next. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go back in here. I just wanted to let y'all know all that, because I've accepted the fact that we're all gonna die. We're all gonna die, but that's at least from this life, this physical body. And I understand that I know some powerful information that can actually interfere with a lot of dark forces in this world who want to maintain their control over the populace. Just remember, you are much more powerful than what you think you are. Don't focus on the pains that you're going through. Don't focus on low vibrational emotions. Always remember, you are so much more powerful than what you are, but you have to seek out that part of yourself. You have to seek out yourself. You have to seek yourself. Start reading about chakras. Start reading about your energy field, your aura. Start reading about these things, because I don't know. I haven't really. I'm 34 years old, and I realize I haven't really learned much about anything about the human spirit, other than what I probably found in the Bible. But it wasn't until I started learning about chakras and chi and things like so. When I start to really get into the nitty gritty, and that's when I realized that's what they're going after. They're going after you, not your physical body, but they're going after you. And because here in the Western world, or certain other cultures or whatever, if you're not spiritually grounded, you're going to be lost to their tactics. Understand that we are dealing with witches and warlocks. We are dealing with sorcery. We're dealing with New Age pagans. We're dealing with techno-pagans. But just remember, they will not have peace. Right, I didn't even finish that part. Right, so in the book of Enoch, it tells us how when the Nephilim died, they released all these evil spirits, and that the spirits would then roam the earth, and then they would basically mess with or take host of living beings who probably did not have a high vibrational energy to fight off whatever I guess things, to fight off whatever things that they are capable of doing to your spirit. Good morning. And then, so what you gotta learn is that in the book of Enoch, they say, those evil spirits, you say to them, you will not have peace. And every time I say, you will not have peace, I felt pressure release in my head, like the pressure just like, but it's like a little bit at a time. It's almost as if they use the technology to cast spirits over your body. And then the moment you start to speak something prophetic, or you start to speak something that's very high vibration, or something that goes against evil, the more you speak it, it's almost as if like you're chasing off these spirits off of your aura. You're chasing them off. So I've been working on that, repeating these things in my mind and just feeling more and more release. Because that's what this energy is. They're using dark energy matter. What they doing out there in Switzerland with that, what is the Hadron Collider, or whatever that thing is called? It's dark energy matter. They are opening portals for evil spirits to basically take possession of millions of people. Once they've infected your aura, they are now summoning these spirits to enter into your spirit. And the more these people conform and they do as they're told from the handlers, they're allowing the spirit to take more and more control over their body. That's why many of them don't find nothing wrong with what they're doing, because any normal human being that has empathy for life or has respect for life would feel like it's something wrong what they're doing. You usually need to see for yourself that someone is actually doing something wrong to someone, or you usually need to see for yourself that, or you normally need to sense that somebody is a bad person. They're not seeing or sensing anything. Everything is just being told and implanted into them to believe that you are a bad person. People from my past know that I'm not a bad person. And based on what the handlers are telling people, because I've heard them say, oh, he a respectable dude though. Oh, he's something like I've heard them talk junk about me and then also compliment me in the same breath. And you gotta remember, the devil is a liar. The devil is the most powerful liar there is in the entire, well, whatever. There's a line from I think it was The Usual Suspects, where I think it was The Usual Suspects, where Kevin Spacey's like sitting in a diner and the line goes, I think the greatest trick the devil has ever pulled was convincing the world that he isn't real. That's why we're in this situation today. Because people stop believing in spirituality. People stop believing in the fact that, yes, spirits are very real. People stop believing in the fact that they actually have a soul. So, alright, yeah, let me go before, she starts worrying or something. But take life one breath, one thought, one step, one day at a time. Peace.